morning and welcome to Library Scented Life. If you're new here, my name is Sydney. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and let's get right into it. So as you can tell from the title, I am doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show tag. So this tag was originally created by Sophie Holden and I will link the original video down there. I haven't actually seen other people do this tag, or at least when I searched it, nothing came up except for hers. Her video was posted 3 years ago and I was thinking of doing a Rocky Horror tag anyways, and then I looked it up to see if anyone else had done it and she had, so I am going to do that. So if you don't know what Rocky Horror Picture Show is, it is an amazing, really strange, the weirdest thing you'll ever watch. It's a musical that I tend to watch every Halloween. So these questions are all character-based questions, so matching features of characters from Rocky Horror to characters of books. So the first question is for Brad. So the question for Brad is a character that follows the rules so much and so strictly that they get into more trouble because of it. So for this question, I went with Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. Specifically, the scene that comes to mind is when he's trying to stop Harry, Ron, and Hermione from going somewhere, and he ends up spending the night on the floor. I was going to say Percy, but that was actually the character in the original video, so I wanted to say someone different. So the next question is, of course, for Janet. And for her, we pick a character that has gone through massive character development and has decided what they want out of life. So for this, I chose Amari from Children of Blood and Bone. If you have not seen my discussion video on Children of Blood and Bone, I will link it up there. So Amari goes through massive character development. She is a princess that during this book sees what the life of the people who are not in the royal castle, sees what their lives are like, and then develops her character and personality based off of that and based off of a lot of empathy, and she truly learns how to apologize and how to relate to people while still being respectful and acknowledging her own previous privilege. So the next question is for Rocky, and that is an all-American character that doesn't have much going on in the brains department, and for this I chose Dandelion or Dandelion from the Witcher series. I say Dandelion because the first audiobook that I listened to for this said Dandelion, but all the ones after it said Dandelion, but even if I'm reading it physically, I still read Dandelion. But Dandelion, he is a smart character, but he's smart in a different way than the Witcher, the main character of the book, so his suggestions often don't seem very smart, but he's a ladies' man, he's a poet and a troubadour, so he's smart in creative terms and in artsy terms, but in logistics and figuring ways out of situations that the Witcher is so accustomed to, he's not the brightest. So the next question is for Columbia, hence the top hat. So for Columbia, it is pick a sparkly character that you can't help but pay attention to. So for Columbia, I picked Gansey from the Raven Cycle, not only in his group of friends where he's the center of attention and he connects them all, but also in the world people can't help but notice him, pay attention to him, and he's very charming and he can charm people into getting what he needs and wants. He's definitely a shiny character that no one can look away from. So the next question is Dr. Scott, and this is an authoritative figure who has a wild side. So for this one, I chose the dad from This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. I don't remember the dad's name, but he is a father figure in this, obviously, but he's also obsessed with fan fiction and goes down a rabbit hole reading fan fiction and writing his own. So that is kind of a wild side if you think about the kinds of fan fiction there is out there. So the next question is for Eddie, and the question is a character that everyone forgets about. So for Eddie, I chose the Will from Saga. During the beginning volumes of Saga, the Will is in it a lot, but then he disappears for a bit and you kind of forget about him, or at least I did, and then you see him and it's kind of like, oh yeah, this character exists. So that's why I chose the Will. He himself is not forgettable. I think it's just since there are so many things going on with the other characters, until a character is featured, you forget all about them. So next is Frankenfurter, and the question is a character who desperately wants to go home. Frankenfurter has a whole song about this, and while this character doesn't have a song about going home, she does really want to. So this is Trisha from The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and this is about a 9-year-old girl who gets lost in the woods and is trying to survive and find her way home. So obviously a little 9-year-old stuck surviving in the forest desperately wants to go home. That's the whole plot of the book. So I chose her for Frankenfurter. So next is Magenta, who is probably one of my favorite characters in Rocky Horror, and her question is a character that is always there but isn't super active in the plotline. And for this, I chose Father Callahan from Salem's Lot. Father Callahan was also a character in the Dark Tower series, and he was describing his battle with the vampires and different things. And as far as I knew, this was that story, but that story actually takes place after this one. This is just the setting events for what happens with him, and he was only in this 3 or 4 times and very briefly. So he wasn't as active in the plot as I expected him to be, so I was a little disappointed with it for that reason. And the final question is for Riff Raff, a character that thinks nobody likes them. So I chose Ronan Lynch from The Raven Cycle because he is kind of like that classic bad boy who keeps to himself, and I think part of it is he thinks no one likes him because he's like that, when in reality he has this close-knit group of friends when, although he is the one who secludes himself the most, they still love him and they would put their lives on the line for him if it was necessary. So that was the Rocky Horror Picture Show book tag. I really enjoyed doing this tag and it made me really want to go watch the movie, so I'm probably gonna go do that right now. Let me know in the comments down below which Rocky Horror character is your favorite. Thank you so much for watching and I'm so excited to see you in my next video. Bye!